What's up, everybody? We are back on another episode of Pound for Pound. I am the Nigerian Nightmare, Kamaru Usman.
Henry Cejudo, a.k.a. Triple C.
And today we got a very special guest, a man that's been around the boxing world for a long time. A man that is our junior, but for somehow I feel like he's been way more known in the combat sports world than we have for so long. A national champion, U.S. national champion, a two-division world champion, a man with a record of 37-4, stepping back in there October 18th, live from the Barclay Arena Center, Mr. Danny Swift Garcia.
Appreciate you guys.
A Shadowline production. You might have knocked him out, dude. Kamaru.
Yeah, that was a knockout. That was a knockout entrance.
Yeah, my man, it's good to see you, man. It's been a long time. I feel like because
definitely
and now you're. I guess I'm hearing word around town as people are saying that this is the last time you're gonna step into that the square.
Yeah. Yes, sir. That square circle. So, I've been a pro since 2008. You know, this is my 42nd fight coming up. Like you said, I was a national champion, U.S. amateur champion. 42 fights. It's been a lot. You know, I got 3 beautiful kids now, and I feel like I'm entering a new phase of my life. Whereas, like, when I'm in the gym and I'm traveling and doing business, I feel like I'm missing time away from watching my kids grow. I already have like a 10-year-old daughter, Philly, and I can't believe she's 10, you know, and that fast 10 years went past. So I feel like I accomplished a lot in the sport, and I want to dedicate my life to my family now. But I just want to go out October 18th for the win with my hand raised, and that's the most important thing for me. Is just going out with my hand raised.
Danny, 2008. You know what I was doing in 2008? I was in college. You know what Henry was doing in 2008? Henry, what was you doing in 2008?
I was winning the Olympics, bro.
Okay, my bad. Well,
you said 2008, bro. I mean, you said 2008.
Wait, so you went to Beijing? You were in Beijing?
I was in Beijing.
Yeah, that was my class.
Yeah,
I was the alternate.
Which, speaking about that, Danny, you I mean, dude, like the amateurs to me, I fought amateur too for a little bit. But the amateurs, to me, it always seems like this is the toughest style of boxing, man. Because you don't fight the who's. I mean, you fight the who's. You're in a tournament. You can fight anybody. And I know that you've had long history with right now the pound for pound king, Terrence Bud Crawford, man. How were those fights? And how did the whole how was that rivalry between you two in the amateurs?
But yeah, we fought 2 times. We were in the same weight class. For 132.
Yeah.
So I fought him in 2006. I beat him in the Olympic USA Championships the year I won. I beat him, and then I remember we fought like in this regular tournament called the Blue and Gold tournament, and then he got his revenge on that one. But we were always in the same weight class, 132, and we used to work out together. Like if you lose, I'm gonna win. Like that's how we used to always compete with each other. That's how me and him always was. I remember that.
Danny, so it's, you started boxing, I believe, at the age of 10. Is that right?
Yeah, 10 years old in Philly.
At the age of 10, you started boxing, and obviously your father was a boxer as well, and he kind of got you into the sport. And for anyone who has followed your career knows Danny Garcia and his father when it comes to the sport of boxing.
For sure. We started.
Talk a little bit about what your father means to you in your career, and the kind of like the ups and the downs of having a father that's so involved in the sport.
Yeah, for sure. In the beginning, it was tough. When I was younger, it was tough because it was like I'll have a bad day in the gym, and then he'll bring it home. Like he'll punish me. He'll used to like starve me, like try to make me make weight and stuff like that. When I was younger, he was real tough on me, but I feel like as we got older and then I started like becoming more of a man, he started to respect me more and then we grew like a friendship. But yeah, I feel like that's what makes me and my father so different. Like we have a friendship, we can hang out together, we go to the club, we go eat together, we do whatever. We know how to do business and we know how to have fun. So, but as far as Angel, man, that's my inspiration. I tell people that all the time. Like without Angel, I probably wouldn't be here. I saw him go through so much. I saw him go to prison for 3 years. I saw him beat cancer. I saw him last year had a stroke, and he's fighting for his life. And so to me, he's my motivation. He's my inspiration. I feel like I saw him beat all that stuff, and if he could beat all that, I feel like there's nothing that could stop me.
Yeah, no. Well, right now, man, what's your take, bro? What's your take on right now that everything that's going on with Turkey Al Sheikh and Dana White and TKO? Is this something that could be good for boxing? Because this is what I'm gonna tell you. Being a UFC champ, we may not get that paper like you boxers truly do deserve, man. Because boxing, man, you deserve every fucking penny, man, that you get.
Yeah.
But do you believe, man, bring a little bit of that amateur system where the best fights the best, and maybe there's only one belt? Because right now they're saying that TKO and Ring, I think they're not going to acknowledge no more of the other sanctioning bodies, unless I heard some shit wrong. But what's your take right now in the state of boxing? And could Dana White and Turkey make a difference, but yet still keep that crazy boxer pay?
That's a good question. I mean, what they're doing right now is great. They made the Crawford fight and Canelo. That was a big fight. They're making some other big fights. I think what they're doing right now is good. I think they should just keep doing what they're doing and just keep those belts, keep the sanctioning bodies involved, because that's how you build stars. That's how you build champions. But I think they're doing good, but I don't know what's in the future. I mean, I don't know how you build a star with just one belt in boxing. And I don't know how you build new stars that everyone just keeps knocking each other off in boxing. In MMA, you can have a lot of losses and people respect you guys, like, because they want to see you fight the best. But in boxing, like, you take an L when you're young, people look at you like a bum.
Well,
so it depends how you build up fighters too. I feel like MMA and boxing is a little different, the way you move fighters and you match them up.
You're right, Danny. You're absolutely right, and I think that's the goal, is to partially to do away with that rhetoric of boxing where you're coming in with maybe 2 or 3 losses and everyone's looking at you like, oh, you're a bum, you're not this, you're not that, you're not undefeated. Right. Because, and I think the reason that rhetoric is there is because you'll get a guy come in here with 28-0, all 28 knockouts, but they were down in Tijuana. They were down in Colombia, or they were down with somewhere. Not that there's not great fighters in Tijuana or in all these other places. They are, but they're not world-class fighters. They pad the record and then they throw them in there and I get why they do that. You want to build the experience with the guys before you start throwing them in there against world championship caliber fights. I get that. But I think what they're attempting to do is clean that up to where you're fighting your level of fights as you're building. So by the time you get up to the top, you may have one, or maybe you may have 3 losses, but you've worked your way back up there, and now you are able to be the best in that. To where I think it could work. I think it could work.
Yeah, I think it could too, because you got to be battle tested. In order to fight at a certain level, you definitely got to be battle tested, because you could be 20-0, and the first time somebody hits you, it's a wrap. It's over because you never been hit before. So, absolutely, it's very important to get the right fights and building up a fighter. But sometimes it's just in the fighter too. Sometimes it's just how the fighter's built. So you just never know who's going to be a dog, who's going to be a true champion now.
Yeah, I remember the first time I've heard of you, bros, when you is that vicious ass knockout when you knocked out Erik Morales. That was one of my fucking heroes, bro. Because I grew up in
Mine
that
too,
era.
believe it or not. Me too. When I was in the ring with him, I'm like, I'm in the ring with Erik Morales. This is crazy. You grew up watching these guys on TV. Like, I saw him fight Manny Pacquiao, Pereira. So I watched him. Yeah. I was a diehard boxing fan growing up. So when they said I was fighting Morales and he was on the other side of the ring, I'm like, I'm in the ring with Erik Morales. It's crazy.
Yeah. Out of all of your fights, man, obviously you've gone up against Zab Judah. Which one of your fights really meant the world to you? Because obviously, this is your last fight, man. This is your last Raw.
Yeah.
As you just get the whole scope of your whole damn career, man. Was it in the amateurs or was it in the professionals where you want something? You're just like, man, I feel like I'm fucking 8 feet tall.
Yeah, definitely. I would say as an amateur, 2006, that was my year. I won the U.S. championships. I beat everybody. I felt untouchable at 132.
So
And then as a pro,
that's when you beat. Is that the same tournament you beat Crawford
yeah, that tournament.
in
But
the finals?
I won the under 19 semifinals.
Yeah, see what I'm saying? Like,
Semifinals.
look at that.
Yeah. And that year I won the under 19 national championships too.
Right.
So I won 2 national titles that year. And then 2012 to like 2014, I went on a crazy run at 140, where I beat Erik Morales, I beat Amir Khan, I beat Lucas Matisse, I beat Zab Judah, I beat Lamont Peterson. I went on like 6 straight 7 defenses at 140, and then I went up to 147. I won another world title, and then yeah, I mean I'm pretty. I think those are my favorite years though, for sure.
Right, Danny. Now, a big thing. I've been watching your fights for quite some time. I didn't even know I was older than you, but I've been watching your fights for a minute, especially.
Yeah, I'm 37. I'm 37.
You 37 years young, and
right.
and so
I feel that shit though.
of course, but
Yeah.
so like Henry said, I've been watching you for quite some time, and you are known with your patented left hook that just doesn't seem, for some reason, it just doesn't seem that fast. And that I think that's because of your technique. You're always in good, because when when I started getting into the combat sports world after I left wrestling, I was gonna go into the sport of mixed martial arts. I always loved boxing. And so partially when I was leaving the Olympic Training Center, I said, you know what? I'm gonna be a boxer. I want to go box. And so in my head, I was like, oh, I'll be back here in 4 years. I'll be the world team member and I'll go to the Olympics. I wasn't thinking like, oh, it's dudes that been doing this all their life that still ain't make the world team or make the Olympic team. Fair. But I started watching some of the boxers. And so when I got out, I really, really started seeing you do your thing. And one thing that stuck out about you was your positioning. You were hardly ever out of position. You were able to step back. You weren't over exaggerating with how you rolled, how you tried to evade punches. You were able to just step back, and because you were always in position, that left hook seemed like it just always comes out of nowhere. And it's not like a Ryan Garcia left hook where he winding it, and you can see the speed. It's so much speed. Yours is just there on time, and it always land. I mean, it was a crazy punch that I kept seeing over and over and over. Which one of your knockouts would you say, for all of the ones that you have, was your most satisfying finish?
I want to touch on that left hook though.
Right.
I'm gonna give respect to my mom because my mom's left-handed. Yeah. So I get that left hook from my mom. But growing up in Philly, everybody in Philly was always like fat. Like growing up, they were faster than me. They were slick.
Right.
You know, like I was like the first like Puerto Rican fighter in the gyms in Philly growing up. So I'm the first Puerto Rican champion ever out of Philly. So I was always like slower than everybody else in Philly. I had to work on my timing.
Right.
Timing beats speed. And my father always told me timing beats speed, Danny. Yeah. As long as you stay in position, they get those you just catch them right in between those punches. And that's how I always worked on everything I've done. It's just I always worked on my timing. Bernard Hopkins always taught me, fight with your hands up, because as you get older, that you lose that speed, the timing will always be there if you got your hands up. So I always took like the old school effect in Philly, where it's like keep your hands up and fight with timing. But as far as my knockouts, I would say Erik Morales, Amir Khan, even the Ra Salko one when I knocked him out. It's just so many fun knockouts I had, man. It's just but the left hook, probably Erik Morales and Amir Khan for sure.
Yeah.
You definitely spun Erik Morales, bro. You spun that dude off the fucking ring, dude. That dude fucking rolled, bro. Jesus, man. Well, the state, there's another thing too. Check this out. Look at this, Kamaru. dude, why am I laughing?
It was
bro?
see, it was just that. I mean, it's just the timing. I mean, it's
I did. I slipped inside his jab and threw the left hook.
Yeah.
So if you look, he throws the jab. I slip inside, threw the left hook.
Yeah, but
so I was in perfect position for that punch.
Yeah, and one thing about that too is, yes, you're a Philly fighter, but your style wasn't full on Philly or shoulder roll or anything like that. You were more your style for me. I felt like it was more square. It felt like
I was more like seek and destroy.
Yeah, you fought guys with both
like come
hands.
Forward.
Yeah,
exactly.
And that was something that I truly really admired, because when I started watching your style, started watching you fight, the one that kind of really I'll be honest, I kind of rooted against you was when you fought Lamont Peterson.
Yeah,
Lamont. I had started. I started to be fans of those guys up there at Headbangers over there in DC, because Barry Hunter, shout out to Barry Hunter, was one of the first coaches would just say, "Hey, why don't you come to the gym and I'm just gonna teach you show you a little something." Because when I was thinking of switching sports from wrestling into either MMA or boxing, and so I was just a fan of those guys. And so watching you fight Lamont Peterson, it was just, I mean, a tremendous fight. First and foremost, a fan favorite. It was a fight that I actually watched, and I still to this day is a great fight.
Yeah, I remember that fight. I got off. I won the first 8 rounds, and I got tired at the end. And he started to put it on me a little bit at the end. But yeah, shout out to Barry Hunter, because a lot of people don't know Barry Hunter. In the Olympic trials, he was the one who told Golden Boy and Shelly Finkel that I was a great fighter, and they came out to scout me because of Barry Hunter, and that's how I got signed to Golden Boy in the beginning of my career, because of him. So definitely, he's always been a good guy, and he's always did a great job with those guys out there in DC.
Right. Now talk about some of the promotions that you've been a part of. So you've been signed to Golden Boy, also being signed to PBC, I believe.
Yeah.
And then now you have your own promotion, which is Swift Promotions.
Yes, sir.
And I guess you're promoting this fight coming up right now by your promotion promoting it.
Yeah. So I've been signed with Golden Boy in the beginning. And then at 2015 I signed to PBC. And then from 2010 to right now, now I'm Swift Promotions on my own. But I'll always be a PBC fighter to the end.
Right.
But this fight I'm doing my own promotion, Swift Promotions. It's always been a dream of mine to promote my own fight. And that's why I want to go out with being like a boss.
Right. Now talk a little bit about signing with PBC. That's Al Heyman, correct?
Yeah.
And so talk a little bit about Al Heyman, because we hear the name all the time, and we hear all the great things about Al Heyman. Why was Al Heyman so instrumental for you, for why you stayed with PBC for that long until now?
I mean, Al Heyman is one of those guys who, if he told you he was going to do something, he did it. And you can't find a lot of people in the industry like that who are going to tell you, look, I'm going to get you that fight. I'm going to get you that payday. I'm going to get you that. I'm going to make you this. I'm going to do that. He did everything he said he was going to do. And that's why my loyalty to Al Heyman will always be loyal, because he's never lied to me. He's always kept it real. And, I owe him everything. I feel like him and Angel Garcia, I owe them the world.
Yeah, no, well, well, the state of boxing too, man, it's kind of changing up a little bit. Like, what's your take with Tank Davis, man? Do you think Tank Davis? I have a feeling, bro, Tank Davis is going to retire after this fight. Sometimes when you get a big payday like that against a fight like Jake Paul, like you as a professional boxer, does that shit bother you, or are you about it because it's promoting the sport of boxing?
No, it don't bother me, because if I was in that position, I'd be happy. I always look at it like that. Like, if I was in that position, I'd be happy making all these millions of dollars. You know, it don't count. It's just for show. I mean, it's a win-win. I mean, at the end of the day, it's the prize. It's the fighting. It's the
Does Tank Davis get it done with Jake Paul? Jake Paul's a little bit bigger. There's
it's interesting, man. I don't think it's going to be easy for none of them. I think it's going to be interesting, because Jake is a big dude, and Jake is not a bum. Like, Jake knows how to fight a little bit.
Right.
And Tank is a lot smaller. I think it's going to be entertaining for sure. I'm definitely gonna be tuned in because I just want to see like the outcome for sure.
Damn, right. You have it, Kamaru. See, it's
yeah, I've been saying that. I think. See, Danny, you can attest to this. I see when Jake came into the sport of boxing, it's just, of course, it's we say, oh, it's just a goofy YouTuber or a content creator coming into the actual combat sports. He came in with such hype and so many eyeballs to where at first it didn't look the greatest. But he's really proved it. The more people have doubted him, the more people have hated on him, the more people have said these things about him, the more it's fueled his fire to where he stayed in the gym enough to where you see Jake now running off combinations, and he actually kind of looked like a boxer.
Yeah, he definitely stepped it up. I mean, everybody in the beginning was like, man, I've been doing this my whole life. Like, we can't let somebody come in here and just make all this money. And everyone said that as a boxer. But as he kept doing it, like I kind of started to respect it because how many people could really like turn one fan base into another? You know what I mean? Like, you could be a YouTuber and then you could try to be like a rapper and your fans don't go with you. Like, his fans really followed him to the boxing world. Like, you gotta respect. He got a loyal fan base because it's like if I try to drop a song, nobody gonna listen to it. You know what I mean?
He got the fucking TikTok. He got the TikTokers to follow him. But I will say this: that he's done a great job, and I feel like he's put a lot of pressure on boxing and making more of the boxers actually fight each other. You know what I'm saying? It was the only reason why I said because Canelo was supposed to fight Jake Paul. Turkey he says, "Hey, I got this bag for you because I want you to fight boxers, not YouTubers." You know what I'm saying? So I think it's been good what Jake Paul's been doing, bringing in that little different dynamic, bringing it into fucking Netflix and chill. I mean, you know,
and he's bringing the girls, Amanda Netflix and chill, and Amanda Serrano. You feel me? He's doing a great job with her. The women's boxing, women. And he got his own promotion. He's like signing fighters, and there's like all these fight dates. He's doing what the big promoter's supposed to be doing. To be real, you gotta give him his respect, man. You gotta give Jake his respect.
Yeah,
you know, I think he's doing a great job. I mean, like, he turned it up.
Facts. We went from Jake Paul haters, bro, to Jake Paul okayers.
Nah, Jake is doing his thing.
Is that cool?
Shout out, real shout out. Jake is doing his thing because we're here talking about him right now.
Absolutely.
You know, so which means he's doing something right. And as far as like, not only is he actually getting in there and being the face of that thing, but he's also bringing about, like you mentioned, Danny, he's also bringing about these women's fight with Amanda Serrano and Katie Taylor, to where now there's a big light on female boxing, to where now these females are getting bags now. Females are making 7 figures now. So I think that's Jake. That's all a lot to do with what Jake Paul has done, has given them that field. So, you know, big shout out to him. Speaking of that, have you ever thought, hey, what's up? Call my number, you know, let me get on in there.
Listen, I'm up for any type of celebrity match.
You down to boogie with Jake Paul, Snake Paul?
I mean, you know, I don't want to like say I want to fight him and stuff. Everyone's saying that. I always been different, but if something else evolves, like, you know, I'm down for it.
Right. Oh, speaking of that, you say this is the last hurrah, but with this new direction that boxing seems to be going right now, with Turkey, with Dana, what if there is an opportunity? Because Turkey, the big reason why Turkey is into the sport is because Turkey has his favorites. He loved the sport of boxing. He loved who he liked to watch. And so if Turkey comes up and says, hey, Dan, hey, you know, let me go ahead and drop this little 5-10 on you real quick.
Yeah. It just gotta make sense.
Right.
You know what I mean? I love money. Everybody loves money, but I'm in the point of my career, I just want it to make sense. You know what I mean? I gotta be motivated.
Right.
I just don't want to catch myself fighting for money. I want to give my fans the real Danny Garcia.
Facts.
Like, every time I go out there, I want them to remember me for a great fighter. I don't want to go out sorry fighting for money, and my heart is halfway in it. You know what I mean?
Right.
My heart got to be in it because I'm a fighter. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah,
I just want to be. I want to give my fans the best I could give.
Yeah, can I tell you something, Danny? It's what you're gonna be doing, like letting go of boxing. Now you're gonna transition that shit into business, and now more of a being around your kids a little bit more. Cause I get it, bro. Like cutting
Yeah.
weight, being in fucking camps, like bro, those are special times that you're away from your kids. I don't know if you
Yeah,
go
I
to
mean
Bay
that's
Area or do things like that, or if you stay home and do your camps, but. I just want to say, man, congrats, bro. Congrats on this new journey. Congrats on this last fight of yours, man. And that beautiful left hook inspired a lot of kids out of Philly, dude. And
thank you.
I
Appreciate
just
it.
want to say, man, congratulations, bro. And we'll be tuning in and watching your fight.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Appreciate you guys too.
Right, Danny. Before you go, yes, on October 18th, you're taking on Daniel Gonzalez. Why was this the opponent, Danny? And what about him do you see in this fight that listen, there's been a lot of people that say this is the last fight.
Yeah.
Let me go ahead and do my thing, and then it turned out to be a bad day. So what about Daniel Gonzalez that you see and you say, hey, that can give me a problem?
Well, he's been around for a while. He's one of them guys who's been like under the radar, but he's been around. I sparred him like in 2018 when I was getting ready for Sean Porter, and I remember he was good work. But it was one of them guys where it's like I feel like he deserves the opportunity. You do good against me, you get bigger paydays.
Right.
But I feel like the way I prepared myself, I think it's gonna be a great night for me, and I feel like I'm gonna knock him out.
Right. All right. So October 18th from the Barclay Center. Danny Garcia, you've been an entertainer for such a long time. You've entertained us. Even though we are older than you, like we all remember some of those legendary fights that you've put on. And me personally, Danny, to me, do you know who Anthony Pettis is?
Of course. That's my guy.
You're the boxing version. To me, you're the boxing version of Anthony Pettis.
Oh,
me.
yeah.
I'm
like, my guy.
I'm like, they're so similar. I feel like they got similar styles. They both fresh. And I just felt like, and they both had the ultra success in their careers. So when I see Anthony Pettis, I told him the same thing. I said, Anthony, I feel like you're the MMA version of Danny Garcia. And he laughed when I told him that. But my man,
that's my guy for sure.
Yeah. So, man, it's been a pleasure watching you, and we will be watching you October 18th against Daniel Gonzalez. Before we go, real quick, Danny, I told you I was going to tell you. It was one time I had a where I didn't actually have an encounter with you, but I think this was like back in like 20. I want to say 2016, something around there. 2016. Okay. And I was in the UFC at this point. I just got in, had a couple fights. Henry, so I just watched you. You just fought somebody like a month ago.
It's probably in Philly because I remember I fought one time.
Yeah.
Oh, no, I fought Guerrero right for the belt.
I think so.
One of those.
Yeah.
Robert, so the ghost.
So Danny was buzzing at this time, and we happened to be in the same function one night. And you was, you had the crew, you had the Philly crew, you was in your section doing your thing. And I was in my section doing my thing. And I was like, let me say what's up to Danny. My man was over there. So I'm like, let me go on to say what's up. I was with me and a couple of homies.
Yeah.
And I don't know, it was the PR lady or somebody said, excuse me, sir, do you know Danny? I was like,
oh shit! My bad.
I mean,
because I ain't even that type of person.
I know that, but
I like everybody. Let's turn up.
It was funny to me. She was like, "Sir, excuse me, no."
Where was it? Where was it? Where was it? You know where it was?
It was out here in Miami.
Oh snap! That's crazy.
I was like, oh shit, really?
Yeah, my bad. I apologize for that.
Nah, it has nothing to do with you. It was a lady. Yeah. Hey, thank you. She taught me a valuable
we gotta
lesson.
Make up for that, bro. We gotta. You know what I'm saying? One day we gotta go out.
No doubt. You still come down to Miami quite a bit.
Yeah, I got a spot out there. Yeah,
Let me know
I'm
next
always
time you
out there.
coming through
Yes,
because I
sir.
live down here in Florida. So you let me
For
know.
sure. After the fight, for sure.
But my man, Danny Garcia, October 18th, we will be watching against Daniel Gonzalez at the Barclay Center. This is the last big hurrah. And I'm sure once you go out there and you put on the Danny Garcia performance, you might be getting that call from Dana and Turkey and saying, hey, Danny, come spin one more time. But
Hey, let's see.
my man, as always, it's been a pleasure. Thank you for
Appreciate
joining
it.
us, and we will be watching.
Appreciate it, fellas. Thank you.
Yeah, later, Danny.
Peace.
Good luck, man. Good luck, man.
Yes,
Salute.
sir. Thank you. Appreciate it, guys.
All right, Triple C, that was our dog. Well, my new dog now, because we squashed it, or at least I got that off my chest. But Danny Garcia is gonna be taking on Daniel Gonzalez October 18th from the Barclays Center Arena. Danny's giving us legendary fights, man, and we can't wait to see him go out. Henry, don't you feel like it's like a thing now we're starting to see the fighters that were around us start to retire now. We've seen some of these guys walk away from this sport, and I gotta say,
Are you trying to make an announcement here, Kamaru?
no, I'm just trying to say fighters we're getting smarter now with knowing when to call it, knowing when to say, you know what, this might be time for me to move on. Knowing that, hey, I have other things that I should be able to get into now. So I don't need to be here forever. So I like it, Henry. You tell me.
Vanderlei?
What you trying to say? I'm not going there. I'm just saying. Speaking of another Brazilian friend, this weekend, I don't want to say my Brazilian, but Brazilian phenom, former lightweight champion of the world, Charles Oliveira, is stepping back in there to entertain everybody at UFC Rio, October 11th, going down, and steps in. Yes, it might be late replacement, but this man is always in the gym, and this man is ultra dangerous, as we've seen time and time again. Stepping in Mateus Gamrot. Henry, I'll let you go ahead and tell me, how do you see this fight? Because before this,
I tell you what, man.
Charles was supposed to fight someone else before this.
He was supposed to fight Rafael Fiziev.
Right.
Fiziev. And he got injured. But I think that was a fight that the UFC kind of, Rafael's good. But because of his battles that he's had with Gaethje, bro, I feel like he's lost a step, dude. I truly do see that, man. Anytime anybody fights with Gaethje, Tony Ferguson, they come back fucking different, But that being said, Montel Gamrot is in now against Charles Oliveira, man. This is, dude, Montel Gamrot legit has a win over Arman, bro. I remember watching that fight, and I became a fan of that fight, but in particularly in that fight with Gamrot, because he was losing that fight, bro. And at the 2.5 minute mark, he really started to kind of pick up the fight. He was pretty much down 2 rounds, getting ready to go, beat down 3 rounds to 0, and he come back and he wins. Montel Gamrot is a better competitor than he is a fighter, bro. Like, this dude knows how to compete, and he will fight a guy like Charles Oliveira accordingly, man. He comes from the sport of wrestling, where he's gonna do the little bit of the same thing that Arman did: take him down, control the inside tie him up, slow him down, keep him on his back. He's gonna have to, man. His striking abilities are not as good as I would say as Arman, but even Arman did the right thing to take down Charles Oliveira around the whole time. Stylistically, I don't like this fight for Charles Oliveira. I really don't. But if anybody can get it done, it is Charles. But I just feel like stylistically, this is a bad matchup for Charles.
Listen, this is a
sport. Am I wrong?
Okay, why you went R&B on me? Why you went R&B on me just now?
You're wearing that shirt, bro. I might as well, get a little,
Oh, because I'm fresh today? Well, I stay fresh always. But back to your point, back what we're talking about. It's a difficult, I would say it's a puzzling matchup. But I do think Charles Oliveira absolutely has the ability to win this fight. 100%. I believe that because Charles Oliveira is a pressure fighter. He's gonna come forward. He's gonna force you to make those mistakes. Charles Oliveira is not, based on what we've seen with Mateus Gamrot. We've seen Mateus Gamrot's wrestling, and we know he's very, very dominant with that wrestling. But Charles Oliveira doesn't care because he knows how dangerous he is on his back. He knows how dangerous he is when you shoot in on him, on your neck. If he's on your neck, he's on your back, he's on your leg, he's on your ankles. Charles Oliveira is ultra dangerous there. That's why he has the most finishes in the company's history. So I do think this is a very, very dangerous fight. But I think the way that he does fight, because it's Mateus Gamrot seems to kind of shy a little bit away from the striking. And he seems to really dial in on taking you down and controlling you and potentially looking to finish the fight down there on the ground. So I like this fight. I think it's very intriguing. I don't think it's as simple as MMA math. Mateus Gamrot beat Arman Tsarukyan beat Charles Oliveira. Mateus Gamrot's going to beat Charles Oliveira. I don't think it's that simple. I think Charles Oliveira still has a little bit of life left after that. After that last fight with Ilia Topuria, I think he still has a little bit of life left, and I think this is going to be the real tell.
And you brought up a great point, Kamaru, and you're right, bro. Like Charles Oliveira's plan is to pretty much come in, allow this dude to fight, to look for transitions. He could take him down too, man. I tell you what, dude, Charles Oliveira has a really good double leg. And then once he gets on top of you, bro, he takes that back. It's a wrap. It is a wrap, dude. There's been not too many people that have been able to get away from that, dude. So
I think it's just the danger he puts you in, Henry. I think it's just that danger once he puts you there.
He has to pressure right away to create fights and create scrambles. Even if Gamrot does take him down, like anticipate the movement. Like already start looking for leg locks to get up or doing certain things. But I think the pressing part, you're 100% right. Charles Oliveira cannot worry about what Gamrot's going to do. He's going to have to go in there and legit bring that pressure, push that pace to create scrambles to start looking for transition to submissions, even on the feet. We saw what he did. You know, one of the fights that I was really impressed by him was when he fought that dude from Bellator that was a Bellator world champion. And
Michael Chandler.
Will
Brooks.
Will Brooks.
Yes, Will Brooks.
Will Brooks, man.
Shout out to Will Brooks, man. I'm sorry we forgot that, man. Former Bellator world champion. You know, very athletic, very talented fighter. But yes, you're right. He went out there. I mean, if you look at the names of what Charles Oliveira has done, what he's done to all these names and these fighters, I'm talking like, so listen, I just think it's not as easy as this guy beat that guy, this guy's going to beat this guy. No, I think and listen, Henry, this is also a chance. This is also the chance that Mateus Gamrot's been looking for. Mateus Gamrot, I feel like, has been hovering around that top 5, just begging for, please give me a shot, give me a shot, give me a shot. This is his chance to go out there and show the UFC that, hey, I can beat the best or former best in the division. I can beat those guys. Give me the shot at that title. So I think this has got to be his coming out party. And like I said earlier, Henry, Mateus Gamrot historically has shied away from that striking and really employed the grappling. I think in his last fight, if we blow that up, in his last fight, I think I think in his last fight, he got to a position where he had to strike a little bit. I think in that third round, it got to the place where he wasn't getting the takedown as easy, to where he had to stay up and he had to use his striking. So we saw a little bit more of his striking. So I think in this fight, he's got to really show us that he's definitely made some big improvements in those striking, because you can't just run back and shy away from the striking, because Charles Oliveira is going to come. He gonna come at you.
Yeah, he's definitely more well-rounded. He's definitely more well-rounded, but this guy brings the style that's the most difficult, which is top control wrestling. So that's what's going to make it. But what's your take on the co-main event? Kamaru Dean.
Co-main event, my dog Montel Jackson taking on Deiveson Figueiredo. Listen, this is a fantastic fight. Montel Jackson has really made a name for himself coming in here and really starching guys on his way up here. And this is a humongous chance for him, opportunity for him to go out there and plant his flag in that top 5. To say, hey, I'm on that short list to potentially fight for that title. I liked what I've seen from Montel Jackson up until now. The last fight was a little shaky. I didn't like that. I don't know if he was dealing with an injury or something. The last fight was a bit shaky. I think this fight, he has to come a lot better. If he's made those adjustments and he made a big improvement, I think he gets past Deiveson Figueiredo.
Okay. So he beat Blackshear too.
He beat Blackshear.
He knocked him out.
Look at that. First round.
Ronnie.
And look at he fought Honey Yaya. Look at that.
Yeah, I tell you what, man. Montel Jackson, bro, the first time that I saw him, dude, I'm like, dude, this dude he's fucking gifted, man. Lanky, tall. He's a wrestler, I believe.
Right. Yes.
I wouldn't put shit past this fight, dude. I'm surprised Deiveson's a big favorite on this fight.
Well, of course, Deiveson Figueiredo, former champion. Which is a former world champion, moved up here and was beat a former world champion in this division. So you can't. I don't see. No, this is the odds going. This is a guy we know has been at the top. That's why he's this favorite. We have this young gun who needs to prove himself, and this is his opportunity to prove himself. You don't know until you know. So until Montel Jackson goes out there and shows us that, hey, I belong there, that's what these odds are for. But if I'm picking Henry, we go ahead and pick. I'm gonna go with Montel Jackson. I'm just gonna give him the opportunity. I think Montel Jackson gets it done.
Damn. It's all gonna come down to Montel Jackson because there's so much tape on Figgy. You know what I'm saying? But I gotta go
pick a guy.
Yeah, I gotta go with the God of War. You know, if the God of War prepared and he's able to use those takedowns on him, I think Montel Jackson might be surprised. Yeah,
ain't that your boy? Ain't that your boy?
It is.
Yeah, what you mean if he prepared? Why don't you ask him if he prepared?
No, you can prepare stylistically.
All right, well,
like you know what I mean? He's doing it in Brazil. And he's fighting a wrestler. Like I hope there's somebody out there that's lanky that knows how to sprawl correctly.
Well, also on this card, you've got my man Vicente, the silent assassin, Luque, taking on Joel Alvarez. This is a banging fight. I think, let me just go out here and say it. I think this potentially will be the fight of the night right here. Alvarez, ultra aggressive, is a guy that's 6'3". He was a lightweight. 6'3", fighting as a lightweight, has now moved up to welterweight, and hopefully he's filled out because Vicente Luque is a guy that doesn't shy away from a fight. Vicente Luque loves to be in these positions, in these situations. He's excited about this fight, and I love that he's excited about this fight because when Vicente Luque is excited, fireworks happen. So I'm calling this right now. This is the fight of the night, Henry.
Yeah, I mean, I can see it, man. Vicente Luque is so technical. He's so good on his feet. He's so good at doing certain things, man, that man, he's a vet, bro. Like he was always right there, like right before he was getting ready to crack into the top 5. There's always something. There's always like a setback with him. But if you want to talk about somebody that's really fucking technical, that's him. You know what I'm saying? Like that's who he is. I mean, but obviously Joe Alvarez is a lanky, tall, also fighter that they fucking kind of look the same, honestly. Like there's like a resemblance there for like, it's that Spider-Man where they're both, orthodox, both of them, 77 to 75 inch reach. I mean, you know what I mean? Like this fight is pretty. It's from the punch stats. It looks pretty fair on paper, dude. 32 to 33. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like it's other than the takedowns that come from Vicente, but it is.
But this is the thing, and Vicente has a nasty guillotine / darts choke. Let's just say you don't want to be down there. You get down there, boom, you locked up. You going to sleep. So. I mean, it's an incredible fight. I'm calling this right now. I think this is the fight of the night. But also, Henry, before we go, you know who else is on this card, my dog?
Oh, your broski.
Yeah, the motor is back in action.
Your little big brother, bro.
Yeah. Or is it my big little brother? That's the right way.
No, it's your little big brother. Is that right?
No, it's my big little brother, bro. Come on.
No, because you got to say that he's little, like he's your little brother, but he's your little big brother. If you say my big little brother,
I'm sure the people gonna let us know which is the accurate way to say this right now. That's my bigger little brother.
Are you going, Kamaru?
Unfortunately, I won't be able to make it out there, dealing with some things. But it's a great fight. Valter Walker, of course, we know Valter Walker now 3 heel hook submissions in a row, back to back to back, all in the first round. Valter Walker's riding on that right now to where he's in the top 15. I believe he's 14th or maybe 14th or 15th ranked.
He's riding on that heel hook.
Exactly. And so this is a big opportunity for the motor, Mohammed, to really kind of show people that he is for real. I know he's for real because he didn't punch me before, but this is an opportunity for him to actually go out there and really let people know that he is for real. And I think he's extremely athletic. Listen, people don't know Mohammed was a state runner-up wrestler. Extremely athletic, former defensive end at the University of Arizona, did his thing. So, hey, this is a compelling fight. It's a very intriguing one. And I think there's a big opportunity for Mohammed to kind of slide into the rankings now and start to really chip away towards potentially a future world title. So I am excited. It's going to be a great night of fights. All right, Henry, but before we go, something also happened Saturday night that kind of flew under the radar because obviously the big shadow that the UFC casted with Alex Pereira and Magomed Ankalaev. We know the king of violence, Mike Perry, went out there against one of my favorite nicknames in the game, Little Heathen, German Stevens. And I mean, what a freaking fight that was. What a fight that was. And you look at both men. Did you watch it? Beat up, busted up. I haven't seen it yet. I've just seen his highlights, but I'm going to watch that fight today. Look at that. There was a lot. Remember, Henry, there was a lot being made of this fight. Mike Perry and this man, they sold this fight. There was real animosity going all the way back to 2015. Real animosity while they were both signed to the UFC. They carried all the way here, and these men went out there and duked it out. Literally duked it out.
Yeah.
Bare fist. And it was a man, look at that violent fight this was. Woo.
That's a hard way. That's a hard way to make a living, Kush.
Oh, really? What we do ain't hard.
No, but this is different.
No, I understand what you mean.
Jabbing fucking and BKFC is like a fucking hard right hand that'll cut you, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That bare knuckle, bro. And you know what's crazier about it is that their wrists are being protected. If they're just to fight without controlling their wrists, like all these dudes would probably break their hand, dude.
No, what do you mean? They'll probably break their hands. Their hands are broken regardless. What you mean? You take I don't care if my wrist is wrapped. I take a right. You throw a right hand as hard as you can to somebody's face or their head. You telling me, Henry, you're not breaking this?
Yeah, God.
Got my hands feeling brittle out here,
Jeremy and this dude, they really, I wonder if they really actually hugged it out at the end.
Well, you see that. Like, they shook it out. They shook it out. Like, this is what I love about
still, you know what I'm saying? Like, you respect them, but there's still animosity, bro. But you know what? I respect that shit on about Mike Perry.
Right.
He fucking he walks the talk, dude. And they square down. Even though Jeremy was the smaller fighter that went up, that, kudos to him too, man. Like, that's a fucking sport where I'm just like, Jesus, bro, last resort. I'd rather get into stripping than to do BKFC, bro.
Whoa, wait.
Facts.
What?
Facts. On my life.
On your life, you would rather shake. You'd rather be out there shaking ass than fighting?
If all these female UFC fighters could do it, why can't I do it? You know?
Wow. All right, you heard it. Hot take. You're gonna
judge me
right here.
Look at Sean O'Malley. Look at Sean O'Malley sharing his caring, and somehow I'm hating he's beloved and he swings. Like, think about that, Kush.
I have no comment there. I have no comment. All I
Like,
know is
think
you said
about
you'd
it,
rather
bro.
shake ass than fight. Gosh. Jeez. But
I mean,
hey,
your boy Corey said he can make two mils, bro. 2 millies.
a word? Who said that?
Yeah. Am I wrong?
Who said that? Are you talking about OnlyFans?
Yeah. I think Sandhagen was bullshitting.
I
Unless
gotta hit
Sandhagen
my
really
man
did
up
make
and
it.
tell him what he had to show to get that.
That's what I'm saying. So what would you do? BKFC or
Yeah, I'd
OnlyFans?
rather do BKFC. I'd rather do that. Yeah, for sure. Because at some point, you sometimes you just might have a bad day. You just need to let it out. You know what I mean? They put the coworker in there. Let it out on him. But anyways, yeah, that was an incredible fight. Shout out to Jeremy Stephens too, man. Jeremy Stephens is a vet in the game, and he's still doing it at a very, very, very high level. So big shout out to him. Also in PFL news, right, Henry? Also in PFL news, my man Corey Anderson became the lightweight champion again. Became the light heavyweight champion of the PFL. I mean, Corey Anderson. What? I mean, Corey Anderson, a man that's been around for a long, long time, been in the UFC, been in Bellator, and now goes over to PFL and becomes the light heavyweight champion. Big shout out to my man Corey Anderson for still just grinding it out and reaching the top of the pinnacle of the sport, man. So big shout out to him.
For sure, bro. But I got a question for a casual. Can we do the question for a casual? Should Kamaru Usman grow his hair back out? Whoa, they doing you dirty, dude. A question from a casual.
See, fans,
see the whole thing. What's up?
See, fans just be weird with it. First and foremost, that's not even why they try to freaking Photoshop the forehead to make it look like a 7 head or a 10 head. That's not even a 5 head.
I mean, I'm going to be honest with you, Kamaru. I'm going to tell you something. I'm just glad you went fucking bald, bro, honestly.
Oh, so now you want to go there.
Yeah, no, this coming from
this coming from the guy who would rather shake ass than fight bare knuckle. This coming from that guy.
Exactly. You got to shake that foreskin, bro.
Whoa, what? Big pause. Flag on the play. Jesus.
No, but would you, Kamaru? Would you? I mean, this is a question from.
Would I grow my hair back out? Listen. Now with all the stuff that's out, people are doing this replacement and doing all this stuff with the hair. Listen, I just don't care enough. So I just shave it off. I don't care enough to right now, I guess. Who knows? Maybe in 10 years, I might have a little midlife crisis. I'm like, you know what? Let me just go ahead because all it is, I thin out a little bit on the side. So I was just like, man, I don't even care. Let me go and get this off. So who cares? Who knows? In 10 years, I might change my mind and go out there and visit, whether it's Miami, Turkey, or Colombia, one of these places, and come back. Next thing you know, I'm out here like this on your boys, Henry.
Come back looking like Triple C. Look at that hair.
With my dreadlocks. Nah, not like that. I'm
Look
talking dreadlocks.
Hair, people think I dye my hair and shit.
It's
like, no, bro. This is all me. I'm about to hit 40 here.
Why are you doing this in the mirror like you're checking something?
What up? Shama!
Well, my man, also, before we go real quick, Henry, this is a question that I want to ask you. So a lot has come out now since the fights this weekend, since Ankalaev and Pereira fought. It's come out that Ankalaev went into this fight with a really significant injury with his ribs, didn't spar the whole training camp while he was in Las Vegas. Just because he didn't want to pull out of the fight. Of course, it was a humongous fight. It's a pay-per-view fight. I've been in that situation plenty of times when you're dealing with an injury. You have to find the best way to navigate that injury to try to make it to the fight. This is 80% of the battle that all fighters go through. In the first fight, it came out that Pereira, obviously with all the traveling, didn't have the best training situation leading up to that. And he vowed to change that. And he comes out to the second fight, and then that happened. And so now Ankalaev is revealed that he had rib issues going into this fight. So now that's come out, Henry. My question to you is, how do you feel about a trilogy fight? Do you think this should be what the UFC is looking at now?
Of course, because they're 1-1, or should I say Juan and Juan. And Ankalaev really did wait on Pereira to fight him again. But I don't think the UFC is going to do that. I think a lot of the rumors, they want to keep. They're going to keep. They want to keep Alex Pereira as champion. Why? He sells tickets. Why? His demeanor. He's stoic. He knocks people the fuck out. Like, as good as Ankalaev is, he doesn't. He's a fraction of that. He's just as good equally as a great fighter. But with all the bells and whistles, like, no, there's too many storylines. There's that Carlos Ulberg fight, which I think I think Carlos Ulberg is sitting in a really good position, because who wants to see Yuri and Pereira at 3 when he's 0-2 against him? It'll happen in mixed martial arts, but I just think the most logical thing that they're probably thinking of, and I heard him say it in Portuguese, I want super fights, I want heavyweight. And according to everything that's happening, I do believe that Jones and Pereira will headline the White House. As of for Ankalaev, I think you're gonna have to see him and Yuri go at it. I think they've talked a lot about who's the best in Europe. Back in a couple years ago, there's been a lot of drama in between both of them. I would like to see them and just see what the UFC does, and maybe you give Ulberg somebody like maybe Khalil or somebody in that realm. But I do believe that Pereira will be taking a break at hiatus, and he will be stepping in at the White House at the heavyweight division against John Jones.
Well, I like it. My take, yes, of course, I would love to see the trilogy, because this Ankalaev Pereira didn't give us his best performance because there was something going on behind closed doors. Ankalaev didn't give us his best performance because there was something going on behind closed doors. This is for all the marbles. You have to govern yourself. I don't care what you're coming into this trilogy fight with. This is it. This is the trilogy fight. You have to govern yourself. You gotta
pull out though, bro. If it was a champ, if it was a fight,
Henry,
it was a fight to get to the title.
How many times have you fought with an injury?
Then if that's the case, then it's no excuses, Kamaru.
Exactly. So that's what I'm saying now.
Like that, and he had bit me in the ass. Marab, even when I beat Marlon Moraes, bro, I fought him with a sprained ankle, and then I tore my freaking shoulder. Look, I still got this battle scar. I still beat him. But when you sign up and you fight,
that's what I mean, Henry. We don't hear these things once you win, right?
Yeah.
So Pereira loses the title. We heard what happened, right? Now Ankalaev lost the title, and we're hearing what happened. So the third fight, I do believe, is for all the marbles. You have to govern yourself to get to the fight as healthy as possible. This is part of our job. This is what makes our job so damn hard, is to govern yourself and try to get in there as healthy as possible, because there's no excuses, especially if that trilogy fight happens. And I think potentially it could happen, because the White House card is not until June. Right now, we're in the beginning of October, November, December, January, February. That's almost 8 months away. So is Pereira willing to sit for 8 months to wait for that card? I don't know. So Ankalaev, I do think Ankalaev is extremely talented. I do think he one of the most well-rounded guys in that division, if not the most well-rounded guy in that division. And so I would love to see a trilogy. If not, then Ankalaev and Yuri Prochazka, I think is a damn good fight. So
what do you do with Ulberg?
Ulberg, I think either if he's willing to wait, he can wait, or he can take on Khalil Roundtree. I think that's a phenomenal fight. When Khalil Roundtree is willing to get back in there, I think that's a phenomenal fight as well. Yeah. Or give him Jamal Hill. Jamal Hill, former champion, hasn't fought Ulberg yet. Why not? Why not? So I like it. Yeah, I like it, Henry. A lot to talk about. It's going to be a great weekend of fights. Make sure you tuned in. Charles Oliveira stepping back in there in Rio versus Mateus Gamrot. And of course, like I said, the motor returns. Mohammed Usman taking on right now the heel hook specialist in that heavyweight division in Valter Walker. Henry, as always, you know who I be. This swole man right here, the Nigerian Nightmare, Kamaru Usman.
Henry Cejudo, a.k.a. Triple C.
And we are out.